Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. So I thought I'd post this here since it is Wednesday, halfway mark, and just to encourage people maybe to go on Instagram so we can participate in the informal learning exercise that April and I thought would be fun to do this week. I've got on here, as you can see, the four posts that we have, and I thought maybe I'd go over the one I did and one that I absolutely love, and I would love to hear people have to say about it. The one I posted was about Lenormand, which is a divination system, very similar to tarot, but not like tarot at all. And I tagged within the photograph Thug Mermaid, who's my friend Courtney, and Spellbound of Nyack, which is the shop that allows these classes, that actually helps us. It's more of a study salon than a class, where we can go in there and just discuss things and how we're working with the cards. Anyway, so I tagged them mostly because I wanted them to see that I mentioned them, to see if they had anything else they wanted to add. And then the hashtags I have on here. Well, first of all, my caption and the tagging on top. Spellbound of Nyack, of course, because that's where I meet. And then a little bit of a shout out to the Fortune Teller Society, which is our society. And the idea of learning to let the cards speak. Maybe to make people curious about what that means. You know, are you reading the cards or are the cards speaking to you? And there are different ideas about that. So that could start a conversation, it could start people thinking about it. Maybe my point of view is that they do speak. So a little bit of informal learning is that there's a divination system out there called Lenormand and card speaking, and how does that resonate for some people? The hashtags that I've chosen, fortune telling, Lenormand, are kind of interesting. Before I go to the Lenormand one, divination. There's just different types. People talking about hoodoo here, tarot here, a different card system there, crystals in this section. So it's an interesting way to see what other people are using for divination. Is there something here that maybe speaks to someone? Maybe somebody does use something they never thought about it. What I learned this week by going to the Lenormand hashtag is different countries will have different systems, and I can't find it now. I was looking for it before, and I should have maybe made the video when I first saw it. But there was a system. They're gypsy cards, and they're used in Brazil. But they look like Lenormand cards. And I actually started doing a little bit more research on that type of card to see how they read it. Is it something that I can incorporate into what I do? I don't know. I find it really interesting. There are a lot of different types of cards, and what some people consider Lenormand might look very different. This deck, I've never seen this deck before, and looking at this, it looks like it's in Russian. So what twist do they put in here? I don't know what this card is, and that's an interesting thing. Lenormand supposedly derived from, there's two sides, supposedly French and German, but what have other countries done with it? How are the cards different? How is the reading different? So that kind of makes me want to go in further and take a look to see what other people are doing. Here's the Portuguese one. So that's a little bit about what are we learning informally. You know, we're not taking classes on it, but by delving into these different hashtags, you gain another perspective about whatever it is your subject matter is about, if you follow the hashtags, obviously. I love what Ed had mentioned on his post, the idea that some hashtags aren't even about organization. They're a bit more, you know, how am I feeling about this? So maybe a hashtag I could have written on there is hashtag I really don't know what I'm doing, or hashtag faking it, don't really know how to read the cards, right? Sometimes the hashtags are just to give more commentary. So that was really good. If I would have thought of that, I might have put a funny hashtag in there. This is one that Alana did, and I fell in love with this the minute I saw it. So you guys can all go on there and look at it. But this whole idea of seeing a sign on a post, not art. So what is it? If we saw something else on there, like, I don't know, don't let your dogs sniff this or whatever. Would we thought of that? Would we think of that as art? It would just be a sign. But the fact that somebody purposefully put not art on a post almost makes it art automatically, doesn't it? And then Alana putting these colors on it. I mean, now it's a photograph and the filters. This is a photograph I could see in Soho. I could see a street artist selling this and people buying it. It's not art, but it is art. Um, it's interesting. It's an interesting question, and I just thought that was great that that's what she chose to share, and I hope that she goes into it a little bit more on her post this week because I would love to know what she was thinking. I love it. I think it is exactly the kind of thing that makes you think. What is our perception of art? What have we learned? What are we learning now about what art could be? Especially how she put in her caption, she went to Queens with her boyfriend to check out some of the local graffiti. And that's always been a question, is graffiti art? Um, so I guess that's it. Just wanted to hopefully get you guys excited about doing this part of the weekly post. And I'll be seeing you guys on Instagram.